What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. This is, of course, the preview for the Miami Dolphins taking on the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday at Germany, 9:30 on the NFL Network. And there's no secret anymore, man. This is the biggest game of the season for the Miami Dolphins, and it's particularly not close. I want to take you back to when the Miami Dolphins played the Philadelphia Eagles and everybody was getting themselves excited, and they were saying this is the biggest game of the season for the Miami Dolphins. This is the biggest game of the NFL season, and I didn't get worked up over it. I'm like, I'm not getting worked up over this because there's a game happening in Germany in 2 weeks between our Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs, where it could probably implicate some high stakes in this game long term. And that's exactly what's happening. This could implicate the AFC playoff picture long term for who is going to have home field advantage come January. And we know Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, those guys have been there before, man. They've hosted the last, I believe, 6 AFC championship games under their belt, which is just absolutely wild. And the Miami Dolphins have never been in this spot. And I do believe we can win. I do. But the question is, for me, is the spotlight too bright on the Miami Dolphins? That's my main concern about this, because the Chiefs, they've been in this spotlight so many times, hosting AFC championship games, having the best record in the AFC, winning Super Bowls. The Miami Dolphins aren't exposed to a big spotlight like this, and that's my main concern going into this game. Is the stage too big for the Miami Dolphins? But we have a lot to talk about with this game today. I'm pumped. I'm so ready. I just want to get to Sunday morning, wake up at 7 a.m., have a couple donuts, get ready for the game. 9:30 comes, boom, I'm all energized. I'm ready to go at 9:30 in the morning, screaming at the television, watching the Miami Dolphins play the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm so ready. I'm so excited, man. I thank you guys for joining me on the preview today. We do have a lot to talk about when it comes to this game. So much in both matchups between the Dolphins defense and the Chiefs offense. And then you look at the Dolphins offense and you look at the Chiefs offense, which I think the matchup of the week to look at is Mike McDaniel against Steve Spagnuolo, who's the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. I will get to that in a little bit. But if you guys have not already, be sure to go ahead and check out the video I made on James Harden getting traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. He's out of Philly, thank goodness, and the Sixers just look so good right now, man. They are so fun to watch early on in the season. It's only 4 games, but I'm hoping that those guys can keep it up. Be sure to go ahead and check out that video. And then also, yesterday, Week 9, excuse me, Week 9 NFL predictions. I'm 1-0 on the week so far. I predicted the Steelers to get the win. I said it was going to be a low-scoring game, something like 1-17. It was 1-20. The Steelers won last night 20-16 over the Tennessee Titans, and which was honestly probably the best Thursday night game of the season so far. So if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out that video. And let's get into the game, man. Already, I want to dive right into this. Frankfurt, Germany, Sunday, 9:30 on the NFL Network. Rich Eisen, Jason McCourty, and Dan Orlovsky on the call for this game. And I'm going to read you the injury report, which I'm not shocked about, outside of Teron Armstead. If Teron Armstead's able to go, oh my goodness, what a huge boost for that offensive line it would be. No offense to Kendall Lamb, but that would be such a big boost, man. So let's get into the injury report. I'm filming this video at 4:30. It's currently 4:30 on the dot right now as I'm recording this. The Kansas City Chiefs, I looked on Twitter, have not had an injury report that came out. All I really know for them is Clyde Edwards-Helaire did not make the trip with an illness, and linebacker Willie Gay is questionable going into this game after he had 2 limited practices this week, and he got hurt against the Denver Broncos last week. They have their other starting linebacker, Nick Bolton, not playing. He's been on the IR for a couple weeks now, which is not good for them because he's their best linebacker. But for the Dolphins, Robert Hunt and Brandon Jones are both out on Sunday. Brandon Jones did not make the trip to Germany. Robert Hunt did make the trip to Germany and did not practice all 3 days. He did not practice Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. This is mostly the coaching staff and the training staff protecting Robert Hunt because he wanted to go back out there against the Patriots. He felt good, and you saw him slamming his helmet on the sideline from frustration that he was not going to be allowed back into the game by the staff. So Robert Hunt and Brandon Jones are both out. Teron Armstead, like I just said, has a chance to play, and if he does play, what a huge boost for the Dolphins' offensive line that would be. Teron Armstead is questionable. Braxton Berrios is questionable. Justin Bethel is questionable. River Craycraft is questionable. Xavier Howard is questionable, although I think he's ready to go. Hopefully, Nick Needham is questionable. Durham Smythe is questionable. And Connor Williams is questionable as well. And I think Connor Williams is ready to go. He was active last week. They did not play Connor Williams. I think they saved him out for this game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I do think we are going to see Connor Williams back in this game, which is a great thing. And if we get Teron Armstead, I will be fully confident with this offensive line, even with the guards we're going to have this week, with Lester Cotton and Robert Jones. I will talk about that in a moment. We all know how big of a game this is. We do. And the whole perspective is that the Miami Dolphins only beat up on bad teams. And I think that narrative is just plain out stupid because you look at other teams around the league, and these bad teams that the Miami Dolphins are beating up on, the Patriots, the Broncos, other teams in our conference are losing to them. A couple weeks ago, the Buffalo Bills lost to the New England Patriots. Last week, the Kansas City Chiefs faced the same team that allowed 70 points to the Miami Dolphins. They only scored 9 points on the Denver Broncos. 9 points. So, that narrative, as dumb and idiotic as it is, the Miami Dolphins have the opportunity to shut everybody up with that narrative and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the last time a team that the Miami Dolphins played suffered a bad loss against a team that they were better than was the Philadelphia Eagles, when they lost to the New York Jets, and they had a big game the following week against the Miami Dolphins, and the Eagles beat the Dolphins 31-17. So in that aspect, I don't like that. However, what I do like is the fact that in the 3 international games this year, the team that gets out to the UK or to Germany first has the advantage. The Miami Dolphins, they've been in Germany since Monday night. The Kansas City Chiefs got there last night. And as much as Patrick Mahomes wants to say everybody's good, everybody's locked in, as much as Travis Kelce wants to say it doesn't matter anywhere, anytime, as much as they want to say that, could this affect the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend? Maybe. So that's where the Dolphins might have an advantage over the Kansas City Chiefs, because they are still trying to get used to that time zone in Germany. But this is the 2 biggest powerhouses in the AFC. These are the 2 best teams in the AFC right now. The Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs. And, we're going to find out if the Miami Dolphins have it in them to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, as I said, I think they can. I believe they can. Do I think they will? Do I think they're going to beat the Chiefs? I don't know. I believe they have a chance, but I don't know if they're actually going to. That's my point. So let's dive into some stats. We're going to go offense for the Dolphins and the defense for the Kansas City Chiefs. So you look at Miami's offense against Kansas City's defense. And you look at the Chiefs, and we could talk hours about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and how dynamic of a duo they are and how they're going to be first ballot Hall of Famers, because Travis Kelce is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Patrick Mahomes, by the time his career's over, he will probably have 4 to 5 Super Bowls under his belt. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. People need to not ignore the Kansas City Chiefs defense, because in Patrick Mahomes' career with the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe this is the best defense he's ever played with. Ever. In his career. This Chiefs defense, if you watch the Kansas City Chiefs when they're on national television against teams like Jacksonville and the Vikings and the Jets, I mean, they were okay in that game. The Broncos, the Chargers. If you watch them when they're nationally televised, their defense is very good. Now, I will say, the best quarterback that they've gone up against this year is Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And they threw Trevor Lawrence off his game. But that was very, very early in the season. And although I do think this Kansas City Chiefs defense is very, very good, this will be the best offense they play this season. So, let's get into some stats. The Miami Dolphins are ranked first overall offense with 53.5 yards per game. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're ranked 4th defensively with 287.5 yards allowed per game. The Miami Dolphins passing game is ranked 1st with 310 yards per game. The Kansas City Chiefs pass defense is ranked 3rd with 195.5 yards allowed per game. Their secondary has been really good this year, man. L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Mike Edwards, Brian Cook, Justin Reed, their secondary, their corners, and their safeties, they're playing extremely good football. They're playing really good football, and they're physical corners as well. The Miami Dolphins running offense, their rush offense, is ranked 1st with 151.5 yards per game. And the Kansas City Chiefs run defense is ranked 18th with 111.5 yards allowed per game. So you watch that game against the Kansas City Chiefs. You watch that Kansas City Chiefs game against the Denver Broncos. What the Broncos did so well is running the football, and they kept Patrick Mahomes off the sideline, where the Broncos were up 21-9, and I think it was with 11 minutes left in the game in the 4th quarter. At that point, Patrick Mahomes only had 7 plays in the second half. Before that, 7 plays. That's what the Broncos did so well in that game against the Chiefs, is they were able to kill time and they were able to run the ball. Now the Miami Dolphins have a much high-power offense than the Denver Broncos do, but my point that I'm trying to get across is the Broncos dominated in the running game. The Chiefs have a very good defensive line, and they're able to get after the quarterback and disrupt the offensive line. But what they have trouble doing is stopping the run. So my point is, it's all starting with the run. It all starts with the run. And having Connor Williams back, and having possibly Teron Armstead back, will go a big way for this Miami Dolphins offense in the running game. Because in the passing game, Tua, he gets the ball out quickly. And, those offensive linemen just have to block long enough so when Tua sees someone, Tua's able to get the ball to that receiver. But in the running game, guys like Connor Williams going to pick up a linebacker or a safety, and it turns from an 8-yard gain to a 40-yard gain. And I feel like that's what we've missed the past couple weeks. I mean, we had one of those runs against the Carolina Panthers with Raheem Mostert bouncing off tackles, but I don't really remember a big run that these guys have had when Connor Williams has not played. And Connor Williams, he plays a big part in the Miami Dolphins running game. He plays a big part. So that's where it's going to start. That is where it's all going to start for the Miami Dolphins offense. And right now, I'm going to give you my 3 keys. I pretty much just gave you away number 1. The number 1 biggest key in the game is run the ball. It all starts with the running game, with Raheem, with Jeff Wilson. If you want to plug Ahmed in there sometimes, it starts with those guys. And those guys, it starts with the Raheem, Jeff Wilson, the offensive line. The offensive line has been able to run block very well this year. And having Connor Williams back and potentially getting Teron Armstead back, it's going to be a big boost. Even though Robert Hunt's not going to play this week and you're going to have Lester Cotton and Robert Jones in as the guards, I do think this is going to help, having those two linemen back for the Dolphins. But the Broncos ran for 153.5 yards last week against the Chiefs. And that's where it starts. It all starts with the run. And then, when you make the Kansas City Chiefs think that, man, the offense is doing outstanding in the running game, and we have to bring another body up in the box, that's when Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is going to kill you. That's when Tyreek is going to get open. That's when Waddle is going to get open, because you don't want no running game. They know it's going to be a pass, and they drop everybody back in coverage. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. Number 2, and I know I'm saying this every week, but I'm going to keep bringing it up. It's to protect Tua Tagovailoa, because the Kansas City Chiefs have a very good defensive line, and they're able to get after the quarterback. Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Michael Dana. I think George Karlaftis is leading the teams in sacks with 6. Those guys are able to get to the quarterback, and they're able to disrupt the quarterback. And, you have to protect Tua, especially those guards. Just hold your blocks for a little bit longer. And, hopefully Connor Williams being back in there is going to help. I feel fine with Armstead. Now, if I'm honest with you guys, I don't think Teron Armstead's going to play this week. I know Mike McDaniel went out today and he said that the Dolphins are optimistic that he's going to play. But if I'm being honest with you, I don't think he's going to play. And, we'll get another week of Kendall Lamb. And what I will say, even though thankfully we have Connor Williams back, the biggest upgrade from starter to backup is Connor Williams and Liam Eichenberg. And having Connor back is going to be big for this offense, especially in the running game. And Kendall Lamb has done a very nice job this year. But if Armstead is able to play in this game, I don't think he's going to, but if he's able to play in this game, wow. That'd be awesome. And then finally, my third final takeaway, my third final key is no turnovers. Because you turned the ball over twice against the Patriots, and the Patriots are not a good team. And it did not come back to bite the Dolphins in the ass. It kind of did, because the Patriots scored a touchdown right after the interception. But Tua cannot be getting himself, he cannot be making these stupid decisions and forcing turnovers like he did on that interception to Kyle Duggar last week. That was horrible. That was a terrible pass. That might have been one of the worst passes I've seen Tua made this year. And again, in the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, when you're trying to make a statement, you have to not turn the ball over. Get the ball to Tyreek and Waddle when the passing game allows it. You know Tyreek is gonna want to go off this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. This dude is extra motivated because he wants to show the Kansas City the Kansas City Chiefs what they're missing out on. So no stupid turnovers. So those are the 3 takeaways. Run the ball, protect Tua, and no stupid turnovers. Let's get to the defense. And these numbers look a little bit better for the Dolphins defense week by week. They just look a little bit better. They were down in the 20s. Now they're up to 15. The Dolphins defense overall is ranked 15th with 329.5 yards given up per game. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is ranked 4th with 381.5 yards per game. Dolphins passing defense is ranked 18th with 244.5 yards allowed per game, and the Chiefs passing offense is ranked 3rd with 286.5 yards per game up in the air. The Dolphins run defense is ranked 16th with 108 yards allowed per game, and the Kansas City Chiefs running game is ranked 21st with 105 yards per game. Already, straight out from the bat, Jalen Ramsey is on Travis Kelce. Jalen Ramsey has to be on the best receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that man is Travis Kelce. I don't care where Travis Kelce is. I want Jalen Ramsey on him. Sometimes you could put Xavier Howard on him if you want, but for most of this game, I want my best guy on Travis Kelce, and I want Jalen Ramsey guarding Travis Kelce. And someone has to be locked up on Travis Kelce the entire day. Sometimes you might even want to double team him. I'm not joking. So already I'm getting into the gist of it. For my number 1 takeaway is that someone has to be on Travis Kelce at all times. All times. And you have these great route runners in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is a great route runner. A.J. Brown is a great route runner. Stephon Diggs is really good. Travis Kelce just finds a way to get open. And, there's a stat going around with Taylor Swift. By the way, fuck Taylor Swift. Don't show up to Germany this weekend, please. Don't make the trip. There's a stat going around that Kelce averages 108 yards per game when she's at the Chiefs game, and he averages like 47 yards when she's not in attendance. But the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, someone has to stay on Travis Kelce. You cannot let that man run up the middle of the field all by himself, wide open. I hope Vic Fangio has a very good game plan for Travis Kelce this week. Number 2, keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. Because last week, in a couple weeks, the Chiefs' offensive line is not the best, man. They can crumble sometimes under the pressure when they feel pressure from the opposing team. They can crumble sometimes. And the Dolphins have to take advantage of that. They cannot let Patrick Mahomes get to the outside of the pocket and allow him to make unscripted plays. Because when Patrick Mahomes is outside of the pocket and he's making unscripted plays, That's when Patrick Mahomes is at his best. When he's able to get outside and he's making these crazy throws and he's sprinting for 20 yards. You don't want that. Keep him in the pocket and don't let him go make the crazy play. Don't make him go make the big play. And the final takeaway that I have is get off the field on third down. Getting off the field on third down in this game is going to be crucial because the Kansas City Chiefs have a top 5 offense. And you do not want Patrick Mahomes on the field the entire day. We want Tua and Tyreek and Waddle to have as many chances as possible to go score. So when you get in a third down situation, shut it down and get off the field because we want the offense to get as many chances as possible in this game against the Chiefs. You cannot allow Patrick Mahomes to stay on the field forever. He will carve you up. He will carve you up. So finally, what do I think is going to happen with this game? I'm happy that we're getting guys back. This is going to be the first time all year that this Miami Dolphins defense is going to be fully healthy. That's exciting. That's really, really exciting. That's going to be the first time all season that every starter is playing for the Dolphins. And what better matchup for the defense to have their have all the starters get their first start together than against the Kansas City Chiefs. But you also have, and I said I hate the narrative, but you have a black cloud hanging over your head right now that you can't beat the good teams. You played Buffalo and you got spanked. You played the Eagles and you came up short. The Dolphins have a chance to go to Germany and shock the world. If the Dolphins beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't care how low the spread is, it's an upset. It's an upset if the Dolphins beat the Chiefs. At the end of the day, I'm a guy, and I've said it before on the channel, I have to see it before I believe it. So, before I could start picking the Dolphins to beat good teams, they have to do it themselves. So, I'm going to keep the trend rolling here on the channel. I'm praying I'm wrong. I think I have much more optimism going into this game than I did in the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. I honestly thought the Dolphins were going to get blown out that game. And the fact that it was 24-17 going into the fourth quarter with a chance to tie the game, I never thought that would happen. But I have much more optimism going into this game than I did the game against the Eagles. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. I think that, it's going to be must-see. It's going to be a must-see game, man. But I'm going to keep the trend rolling. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win 27-20 over the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins will be 6-3 going into the Week 10 bye. So, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel, man. The game's going to get over around 12:30 12:45. I will be filming the post-game recap video right after the game. It'll probably be up around 2 o'clock on Sunday after the game. I'm wasting no time. The 1 o'clock games on Sunday are shit. I can miss the first half of 1 o'clock games to film the post-game recap video for you guys. And that's what I'm going to do Sunday after the game once it's all over. So, and then next week we got a pretty chill week, man, because the Dolphins, they're going to be on a bye. And, yeah, we won't have to worry about a game this week. The only two videos that I will be filming next week is a mid-season review and Week 10 NFL predictions. So it should be a very chill week here on the channel. But be sure to subscribe, comment down below who is going to win this game between the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me know down below. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me, and follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. And I will see you guys Sunday afternoon, right after the Miami Dolphins take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And hopefully, we are talking about a Miami Dolphins victory in Germany. I can't wait. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace and fins up.